Welcome to the Day Clean Devotion Queen podcast. Each week, our podcast episodes breathe life into selected themes from the DDQ Meditation Journal. Hosted by our founder, Najma Thomas, we engage in heartfelt discussions with a diverse roster of inspirational Queen sisters. We explore their unique perspectives, uncover the wisdoms shaped by their journeys, and celebrate the trials and victories along the way. Together, we are creating a Womanifestation space where conversation meets examination and sparks transformation. Hey, Queen Sis, it's Najma. Getting comfortable here in my little spinny chair. So welcome back. Welcome back to the DDQ podcast. Najma Thomas, I'm your host, and this is another solo session of our podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode today. The last time we were together, I talked about, how busy my schedule had become. I was trying to just kind of make the difference between hustle work and soul work, working from those two different perspectives. And I shared how, I felt like I just fallen into the trap of hustling and not really having the kind of connection to my creative self that I think is valuable for me, just to stay connected. And so I shared in the last solo episode I did how I was gonna, make some small shifts and try to make more time for creativity for myself. And so I'm gonna just give you a little update on how things are going today. And also I want to give a little bit of information about our featured guest for next week. On the next episode of the podcast. So, look, the truth is my schedule is still as busy as ever it was. Still very full of obligations, still a whole lot of deadlines and, major projects and external facing tasks, things that we just have to do. We've got to do the thing, Queen. And in the middle of that, though, I am still insisting, one day at a time, day by day, but I am still insisting on living in alignment with the goal of abundant living that I have for my life. And I just refuse to let that objective die on the vine. And so what I've been trying to do is make a little bit of time each day for creativity in my schedule, just to let myself and my imagination breathe outside of the deadlines, outside of the requirements. And for those of you who know me, that means like making time in my day means I put creativity for me on my schedule in my DDQ day planner. It's that specific. And that's just the kind of strategy I need to make sure it happens for me. And when I see that on my schedule or it pops up as a reminder, I know that's my time. There's no phone calls, there's no textings, no quick Zoom meetings or someone popping in the office. Just me doing something that helps me to feel more grounded, helps me to feel more joyful, just reminds me that there's more to this journey than producing and making things happen for work or for someone else who needs it, right? These are legitimate requirements and clear responsibilities, but there are other things as well. And so here's an example. So my partner, wonderful guy, brought me a bunch of flowers. Now, the inside joke is he did not put them in a vase. And Aunt Dot 101 is you do not present a lady with flowers unless they are in an appropriate vase. But also, he will be excused, of course, because he was trying to give me an opportunity to do one of the things I like to do, which is make flower bouquets. So I bought all these bunches of different flowers, and I took the time to make, little bouquets or big bouquets, not to sell at the market, not because we had an event coming up, but just because I wanted to spend some time creating beautiful flower arrangements, putting herbs and greenery together, and then spend some more time just staring at the pretty flowers. Okay. Something else I've been doing as a part of my creativity for me time is I've been engaging more with the Substacks and Patreon accounts that I subscribe to. Instead of just, scrolling by quickly and saying, oh, I like that, I've allowed myself the opportunity to really read through, think, sit with the thoughts, meander a little bit, and benefit from the creativity that's being produced by others, like-minded. There's a lot of good content out there. And there's pros and cons to that, right? There's a lot of good content out there. And I'm just trying to curate my channels and spend quality time with a smaller amount of content, and just enjoy that little space for me. So, so that's what I'm doing. It's like little tiny shifts, nothing, outrageous, but, these little tiny shifts, I feel like they're a part of a larger resistance. And I also feel like it's engaging in Afrofuturism and really thinking about the kind of future, the kind of African inspired future, like this departure from a Eurocentric worldview that insists that we are always trying to make more money or always trying to make more things, and not to knock that as though that's not the only approach. And there are other ways of showing up in this world, and other ways of thinking and imagining what an abundant life might look like, or what kind of world we might want to live in, not just the one we've inherited, right? And so I'm using my space to reimagine what freedom might look like, what wholeness is, and what kind of possibilities I have to honor the space and time I've been blessed with. And I really do feel, I opened by talking about how busy my schedule is. And yeah, I do work, 2.5 jobs, legit like 2.5 jobs. But I have a lot of autonomy. I have a lot of flexibility. I'm in a leadership role, which means, I get to set a lot of standards, and I don't take those, that kind of luxury for granted. And I say a luxury because I think back, and in some of my creative time, I've been, doing a little bit of ancestry, looking back into the family tree, and spending some time on some of these projects where I really want to know the names of particularly the women from several generations back in my family. And I think about these women. I think about my great, 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 great grandmothers, and I cannot imagine that they had the kind of luxury of autonomy, of flexibility, of being able to say, oh, I'm going to set aside this time to create. So I feel like, I'm engaging in revolution on their behalf, just by, in their honor, just by imagining a different way of showing up. I feel like when we take 10, 15 minutes, take the time to write, to sketch, to dance, even to learn a new language, and not because you're in a class and you need, to do an assignment, but because you want to hear another language on your tongue. To take the time to dream about a big, bold idea. All of those things just, I feel like, are engaging in Afrofuturism, practicing what it means to live inside the life that we want and desire, and not just survive the life that we've been given. I feel like it is creative, it's spiritual, it's a revolutionary, it's revolutionary imagination. And at the risk of sounding cliche, I think we need this kind of revolutionary imagination probably now more than any other time in recent, contemporary history. Um, I've been talking with a couple of different colleagues in my Queen Sister circle about this time we're facing, about the chaos, about the drastic ongoing changes and shifts. And I've been encouraged by just our thought processes around how this can also be an opportunity. Like there is so much power in the pivot, and we can reimagine and co-create a completely different paradigm for ourselves and the next generation. And speaking of that kind of revolutionary imagination and about creation, our next full episode, we're going to be joined by someone who I think embodies this spirit of revolutionary imagination so beautifully and powerfully. We'll be joined by Ebony Holmes, Black Sis the Goddess. She is the founder of the Black Moses Freedom Festival. Ebony is carrying forward Queen Mother Harriet Tubman's legacy in an unapologetically revolutionary way. And I think you're really going to enjoy that episode. So be sure to tune in next week to learn all about the work that she's done and is doing. In closing, I want to invite you this week to, if you haven't started, to, pencil in some time on the schedule for yourself for a little creative break, and to be intentional about, planting some seeds for the kind of abundant future you desire and deserve. Like we all deserve this good thing, Queen Sis. I also want to encourage you, stay in contact with us throughout the week. My day clean ritual is journaling. Early, probably like 3, 4 a.m., 5 a.m. I'm up, I'm journaling, and I will post every day on our website, mydayclean.com, on the Daily DDQ. Post a little bit about, my reaction to the day's meditation prompt. So you can feel free to join in there, share some comments if you want to. We're also, of course, on social media. Instagram is probably our most used channel. We do not post on Instagram every day, not even every other day, but a couple of times throughout the week. And be happy to engage with you in either one of those channels. Please share this podcast if you enjoy it. Sharing is caring, Queen Sis. Share it with someone else. And be sure to tune in next week for a full episode. Until then, I hope that the remainder of the week is everything you need it to be, that you have a peaceful and very enjoyable remainder of your day. Take care.